Start the recording. All right, guys. So, hey, team. I'm excited that all of you have taken time out of your schedule to be with us tonight on our weekly team training. Definitely, I've already took the picture of who was on at 8 o'clock. So I'll be doing the drawing for the Happy Meal after the training in the PC Pirates group. But if you're new to our team, which I saw some new names I did not know, and you do not know me already, I want to personally welcome you to the PC Pirates family. I'm Tiffany Lee, the Senior Executive Director. And if you are new and need a walkthrough, last week we went through setting up shows from start to finish. And you can find that recording in the PC Pirates group under guides. But your recruiter or director will be walking you through step by step. So no worries there at all. Tonight, guys, I'm mixing it up a little. I wanted to talk some about the life business balance and automation within your business, plus tips that will make your business easier. But I'm also leaving part of this time frame for Q&A or sharing tips and tricks from others because we learned so much when we had that open forum the last time. And I know a lot of people have questions as well. So I was going to do something a little different today or tonight and do that at the end. So who is ready? All right. So when preparing for tonight, I had a few aha moments that I want to share with you before we get going. What is that thing? I'm sorry. So many consultants come on our training calls, home office training calls, Donna's training calls, but don't implement any of the tips or ideas that are shared. And, we can tell from watching them on social media, but without a show of hands, but to yourself, is that you? Learning is just the act of listening and storing information, but it's putting what you learn into action in your business that brings the success. So many people say, I'm on your calls and nothing's working. But when I ask them what are they doing, they can't tell me. So I want to make sure you guys are learning, but then implementing. And if you're doing the same thing over and over, not trying anything new, because if so, you want to tell yourself, like, tonight that changes. Tonight I'm going to take a tip or a trick that I learned and I'm going to put it into action. And one thing to know about when you learn on these training calls is I always take notes, and you can't implement everything, but when you do, look at like what's the one thing in your business that you need help with the most. And if you find a tip on that, like, implement that or just try one of the tips that you get. And then that's when you really see a lot of difference. And I want you to know that, a lot of people may not implement. So I want to make sure you guys know how important that is. And you can't grow or improve your business without implementing strategies that you learn. And then you want to evaluate the response, right? So you want to try it, because what works for one person and works for another is two different things. Because Facebook, the type of people on your Facebook versus someone else's may be different. It's like, it's so many things that could be different, but there are things that work across the board. But you never know if it'll work for you or not unless you give it a try. But you want to see, like, okay, I tried this booking idea. Did I get a great response or did I not? But I do want to know for you to take a note or a side note that in our business, you want to do something for at least 3 months before you say it don't work, because every week we have different hosts, we have different parties. So it may not be what you're implementing. It may just be that week. So I always say, like, give it a couple weeks or give it, depending on what it is, just give it time to see if it will work. And that's when you know for sure that it will work for you or not. And then when you change it up and implement something new, that always is a positive, right? Because then you get to do something different and it's not the same old, same old. And so I love that. That's always the positive for sure. But another question is, how many of you have sat down and have made an actual weekly schedule to find gaps of time to work your business? I know we've talked about that a lot, but I wanted to know, like, and you don't have to tell me just to yourself, but how many have actually done it? You could tell us if you wanted to, but the other question is, how many of you have not made that weekly schedule and are still saying you don't have enough time? So again, like you hear the information in a training or a live, but how many implement it? So I found out that people think they haven't done a schedule because they don't know the perfect way to do it, or um, I'm not sure, that kind of thing. But really, it's just do a schedule. There's not a perfect way, but that is the start of balance in your life for sure. But the fear of not being ready, or I'm not an expert, so I don't want to do it till I learn all about it. Or what if fear, right? How many of you have that? Like, what if I post this? What's going to happen? But those, all of those are fear that's standing in your way. But you guys need to push the fear to the side. You want to learn, implement, and then put things into action so that you can then improve and do better. And if you have not, like, heard, how many of you have heard about the belief triangle? I know we've talked about it a lot, but I wanted to show it because it's kind of a staple of Pampered Chef. Let me see. Okay. So the belief triangle, I absolutely love. I actually have it saved to my desktop so that I can remind myself sometimes, honestly. So, but when you believe in yourself, or when you believe in a process, that is when you determine, like, I'm going to put that into action. Okay. So you believe in yourself in the process, so you do the action. The action is what's going to give you your results. And when you get results, how many of you love when you get like 20 bookings, or, however many bookings in a post? That is when you start believing in yourself again, like, I can do this, right? And so, and it's a process. So then again, you go through it. Now, people that work their business consistently, they're going to constantly be believing because they are making themselves take action, which is going to have a result, which then makes them believe. But some people, I feel like, have like a break in this triangle because they believe, but then one thing may throw them off, and then they don't believe in themselves anymore. And I want you guys to all know that you all can do this business. You all can be amazing in this business. So you definitely need to believe in yourself. And I'm going to post this in our group, or in our organization page too, so that you guys can have it to kind of go through. But like I said, it really does take belief. So tonight, whatever you hear, think of, just pick one thing and try it in your business. Even if it's not going to work perfectly, then you don't know till you try, right? But that one thing you try might be the best thing you've ever done for yourself or your business, but you never know till you try. So I wanted to start off with that because I know a lot of people have asked like the same questions that we trained on. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, I wonder how many people have like actually tried the things they learned. So I am challenging all of you to do that tonight. Okay. And so, like I said, it all boils down to believing in yourself and taking action and moving forward in your business. And so I hope that really hit home to some of you that may have needed it. And we have, just like I tell my patients this, or similar, something similar to this, but we can have the systems and the training perfectly laid out, but it's up to each of you to use them, put them into action, believe you can do this, and then hit all the new milestones in your business. So with that being said, I felt we needed to start the training off with this because I feel belief needs to be instilled in many, and I wanted to share my heart tonight before we get going. Okay. So belief is something that I want you all to say to yourself, that, I believe I can do anything in this business. I believe that I can be number one on the sales charts, or whatever your goal is, or you have thought about being before. And maybe fear said, there's no way I'll ever be there. Is that you? So don't let fear get in the way. Okay. So tonight, we're going to talk about the balance with your work and your life. It does boil down to this. So I have had a lot of training one-on-ones with people for how to do a schedule, how to set up, their daily task and everything. And, we can teach the skills, but I'll be honest, there is no perfect balance. Okay. I mean, you can't do 8 hours of work and 8 hours of sleep and 8 hours. I mean, there's not a perfect. Now you can make it as balanced as you can make it, right? But it really boils down to priorities. So you have to have the calendar, and it could be a paper or a schedule. It could be a paper schedule. You could use like Google Calendar, because, and we have plenty of trainings on Google Calendar if you need it. But whatever the task is, you need somewhere that you're going to put everything you have for work, for your personal life, for everything. And you have to use that calendar over and over so that you can get used to it. Because the most important aspect of the calendar, is that one important aspect that I realized today when I was preparing to talk to you guys is that you don't want to make this schedule or calendar by yourself. So you're probably like, what? So I thought about how, when I made a schedule or calendar, why was it successful? What did it do that made it successful? And so I thought about it, and what it is you should all like take, if your family, if you have family, you have kids, you have um friends that you live with, whoever, is putting them, like sitting them down honestly at the table and telling them why you are doing this business, what your goal is, and if it's a trip or whatever it is, share it with them, and then how that will benefit them. So like, if you work your business and you get to pay off debt, like that's going to allow you to be able to spend more time with them, or take them places they never would have been able to get to, or whatever it is, you kind of apply it to your life. But you want to ask them for their input on when you can work your business, to meet those goals. But it is a family business, and you can't make a schedule that seems good to you, not tell your spouse or your kids about the schedule, and then get frustrated and when you can't complete the task that you wrote down but you haven't shared. Because newsflash, if you have a spouse that doesn't know, they can't help you support you, right? So if you've not had that talk with your family or whoever that may be impacted by a schedule of this kind, that's your homework assignment for this weekend, because that was a game changer for our family. Because a lot of people also feel like they are tugged in one way or the other for the business, like when they're working they feel guilty, all this stuff. But if you share it with your family, it changes it. Like, you have, like everyone knows that basically 8 to 9:30 is mom's like call time. So I mean, it's just like they're like, hey, all right, dinner's done, and it just happens. And that's so freeing, because that they know that's mom time, or your time to work your business, and you don't feel guilty because you're taken away, or and you want to definitely set in there time for family as well. And a lot of times, if your family's not very supportive, or your friends or whatnot, a lot of it boils down to like trying to work the business 24 hours a day. You can't do that. You'll get burned out. And that's the other reason why a schedule will kind of keep you accountable, right? Well, and you are more productive with a calendar or schedule, because you're like, okay, well, I only have between this time and this time to get everything I can done, versus I have all night. Do you see what I mean? You're not as productive that way. But definitely, or if you live with a friend or a roommate or whoever it might impact, that is always the best thing to do, is to bring them together. And if they realize why you want to do this business and what it means in general, then they are, that you put them in it, and so they almost own it. You kind of own it together. And so once you have that out of the way, then you want to find a system that works for you. So again, I am using the Google Calendar, and that's worked great for us, because I'm able to share my calendar with my husband, so he knows where I'm at, where I should be, and when. Sometimes he reminds me. It's kind of funny. But Google Calendar I like, because I don't have to sit down and like copy it to him or tell him about it. Like, he can just click a link and see my calendar in real time. And but next, you want to decide what type of calendar, if it's paper or electronic, like whatever calendar that you may work best for you. You want to stick with that, okay? And if you don't know, just pick one, try it, for a little while. And if you're like, yeah, this is just not working, then try a different system. But that's the only way to know what would work for you and your family and your life. And if you've never used a schedule to follow any in your life, It's going to be difficult at first, not going to lie, but I promise if you stick with that schedule and the calendar, you'll see that you become more productive, and then you're going to see more results in your business. And you'll realize, like, okay, I can't fit everything in because it's scheduled. Now, one thing about scheduling is when you have times where it's like 4 o'clock and your time is to work till 4, even if you're not finished with that task, you have to stop. I know OCD people are like, oh my goodness, I have to finish the task. Sometimes you just can't. To make sure that you work all areas of life, home life, work life, and business life, you do have to just make sure you block in those time frames. So, but that is some time, and it also gives you an ability to see when you can work your business. Like, can you get up 30 minutes earlier or go to bed 30 minutes later if you have to? Again, it really boils down to priorities, and if you want to make it happen, you're going to make it happen, right? You'll find a way. And if not, you'll find an excuse. Y'all all know that quote that Claudia likes to share with us, but it is true. But if you need more detailed information and help with the calendar, you can let me know. But we have, I have trainings, I walk you through it. But I really think it's a lot of guys have been making the calendar, but not bringing in like people that are going to be impacted by that calendar, that schedule for the week. And if you all aren't on the same page, this is just not going to work, right? So that is definitely something I want you to know. And then if you do have families not supportive, because guys, I'm gonna be honest, mine wasn't at first, because they were like, oh my goodness, she graduated and now she's gonna do something else. And that's what Chris said, like, oh, it's like you need something else on your plate. That was exact words he said. But like Donna said, keep working the business and they'll come around. Because when they get on to go on that trip that you earned, or you get to buy them what they wanted, that from, using money from your business, it'll change their mind. And she is right. So look at Chris now, right? So definitely don't let that discourage you. Just keep, working and following through, and you'll definitely start to see results. And then we have a leader training that, that taught us about this past year. This is why I'm gonna bring it to you guys, but it was about eliminating tasks, like automating, delegating, procrastinating, and concentrating. And I'm gonna share that with you a little bit throughout the next trainings. But tonight wanted to really focus on automation, because that frees up time in your schedule, makes it less stressful, and it allows you to be able to accomplish more. And so who is excited about that? Some of these you probably known before or known are already, some you may not have. And then some you may have to remember or maybe hear again. Now, one way we already automate is through Post My Party, right? Using our party template. I don't know about you, but if I didn't have Post My Party, there is no way I could do what I do. It is so easy to use, and I could not imagine scheduling all of those posts. But however, my friends, we are always learning, and I learned something new this week that y'all probably know about, but I did not. So, but I want you all to know, if you don't know, or someone who watches this recording, but Julie, an awesome director in our organization, shared it with me, and I asked if she would share it with you guys tonight. So Julie, you should be able to share your screen. Make sure.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Tiffany. I just wanted to show you guys really quickly on Post My Party that you can also schedule comments in addition to scheduling the posts. So I've got Post My Party opened here, and then just going to circle over on the right-hand side. You can see a section called comments. Clear my drawings. And I have 0 on most of them, but there are a couple that I have 1 comment on. So I'm just going to kind of show you how that all works, and then I'll show you what some of my comments are. So I'm going to click to edit this post. This is my pre-party challenge post. And I've got my post and I've got my pictures. It says that it's going to happen on day 1 at 12 p.m. But I'm going to click this button down at the bottom, the green one that says add comments. And now I can add a comment to happen after this post. So I'm going to add a comment, and I can choose if I want it to be a message only or a picture too. I'm going to say message only, and I'm just going to say the more the merrier. And what's really neat, I think, is that it reminds you of what time the original post is going to be. So this is supposed to be happening on day 1 at 12 p.m. So what I'm going to do is schedule my comment to be at day 1 at 12:01 p.m. And then you can either save it and be done with it, or you can save and new, which means I'm going to save it and then I'm going to add a second comment as well. So I'll go ahead and save that. You can see it just kind of shows a little bit of a recap. There's my comment right up here. And I'm just going to go back to posts now. And then now what I see is that I've got one comment over here on this post. And so I don't use comments a ton, but I do use them in 3 real specific areas. I use them whenever I have a recruiting post and I want to say something under it, like our April special is that you can earn a quick cooker when you've got your first $500. I also use them sometimes in games, like in this post here. It's a little post about taking the word out of a movie title and replacing it with the word chef. And so I just have a comment there just to kind of get things started. And then the third time that I really use comments a lot is when I'm posting something like the quick cooker and I want to show pictures of things I've made with the quick cooker. So I'm going to go to my page 2 and show you that really quickly. And it's kind of easy to find comments because they're just all over here on the right side. So here's my quick cooker post, and here's the post itself. And then here's all my comments. And then you can see that the way I have it organized, my post is gonna be on day 3 at 2 p.m. And then I've got a comment with a picture of ribs at 2:01, and a comment with a picture of soup at 2:02, and a comment with a picture of a turkey breast at 2:03. So it looks like I'm just kind of commenting one after the other, like I'm being really active in the party. But the truth is that I was able to automate that and just make it all happen for me. And I love doing it.
Mind blown. So I don't know about y'all, but I didn't know about that. And what's funny though, is I see that add new comments and totally did not even ever click on it. Like I realized it after Julie mentioned it. And it was because today or this week when I was sharing my task each week, I was like, okay, Julie, like, I can't like share all the words or I use a document. She's like, put it in the comments. And I'm like, but I'm gonna be at work. Like I can't comment. And then she showed me that and I was like, daggone. So now, like, how awesome is that? So now you guys have that tool in your toolbox for sure. So, and scheduling comments. Now, I want to point one thing out though, like when automation and scheduling, and that is like you don't you schedule it all, but you still have to be in your parties. Okay. So I don't want people to think I could just schedule these comments and not go in them. And because it looks like I'm active, but that's not the case. Cause when people comment, we should be in that party questioning them, building relationships. Like if someone says like, I love that product, I don't say me too. I mean, that's not an open-ended question. You want them to talk, right? So I always say, well, what do you love about the product? Or if somebody has liked a post and didn't say anything, I find out who it is by hovering over it. And I just like tag them and say, hey, Amanda, what did you like about this post? And make people talk. So you want to be in it to build the relationships because that's what turns into bookings, which it turns into more team members, sales, a business, right? So remember that when you think of automation. Now, another quick tip that's worked so much for me is text replacement. How many of you actually use text replacement? We talked about it, but how many implemented it? I know that we've all said, the words many times, but I wasn't sure like how many. Did everybody know what text replacement is? Now, if you don't, let me know in the chat, but you can do text replacement on your phone and even on your computer. I use mine on my phone, but you basically can, write in a paragraph of what you want to say. And then when you're typing it, you just do a couple letters of that and then you hit enter and the whole paragraph pops up. Now, it's different for iPhone and Android, so that's why I'm not gonna be able to share it right here. But I do have videos after for iPhone and for an Android if you guys wanted to do that. But this is perfect for thank you order text, especially if you work, because I have put that as a text replacement, and so I just put .or enter, and it comes up like thank you blah 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 blah, and I just fill in the name and the host name. So, and that has sped up everything, right? So it speeds up your time texting and it makes it super easy. And anyone can do it really. And there's a ton of apps. I use the TextSpan. I think it's what Claudia has showed us before. But like I said, I mean, if you put in text replacement in the App Store or whatever is on your phone, a ton of them come up there. And like I said, I can post videos, but that is something I wish I would have done ages ago. So if you haven't done it, you need to set it up. It doesn't, I know a lot of people are like, I don't have time for that, right? Think about the time it's going to save for you spending a couple extra minutes to set it up, okay? So other text replacements I use, so I use it for thank you text. I use it for just curious, is this no, not right now or no, not ever? Like I get tired typing that whole sentence out. So I have it for that. And then I have it for the no nevers, like, you know, thank you for your honesty. If you have, you know someone who wants or needs Pampered Chef, you know, save my number, blah, blah, blah. And then I have that. And then also I have the where I invite them to my VIP group, because you remember guys, like when people are saying no, not ever, you don't want to leave it like that. You want to, because it's never, ever, ever. So I always invite them. And so instead of me typing out, I would love to give you an exclusive invitation, but you know what I mean? It has the link and everything in it. And I just put .vip enter and all of it comes up. And in text, you don't have to worry about doing it too fast, right? So that's even better. And so like I said, if you haven't done it, do it. If you use it, let us know in the chat, but that is a big time saver. And then I have also heard many of you guys talk about, like, you know, you work late at night, like you have kids all day, you're putting them to sleep, cooking dinner, and then all the time you work your business is like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock, and you don't want to text people or message people at those times. And so and then you're busy during the day. So I wanted to remind everyone, or to tell you guys, you may not have thought about it yet, but how many of you know that you could schedule text messages in your phone? And so for the night owls, right, that work their business, I mean, it's super easy. But you write out the text, but you schedule it, and you can schedule it for the next day and a date and time. And it will send automatically like the next day at 9 o'clock in the morning. But that way you are working your business because you're making sure to send your messages. You're not sending them at 11 o'clock at night, and it's getting done, right? Because how many of you that don't know how to do scheduling text messages, haven't been sending messages, which is like the biggest thing ever, because you didn't know about it. So if you didn't, let me know. But I'm also gonna give everybody a video on how to do it. Every phone's different. I'm gonna give you just like the general one, but if you have a phone that you can't figure it out, honestly, just YouTube it, like how to schedule a text message in Samsung, okay? And it will pop up. And so, but that is something that is very beneficial. But so I know some people do that, but how many of you miss that 2-week and 2-month outreach, like following up with them? You send the thank you for your order booking message, but then you don't ever see or ever reach out in 2 weeks and 2 months. And remember, our goal is 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, because the idea is you want to continue that relationship, continue them remembering that you're a Pampered Chef consultant and checking in on them. So why not schedule it in a text, and it'll automatically send when that date and that time comes up. Genius, right? So you'll never miss it again. Now, the interesting part about this is, I've done this before, is you'll be in the middle of Walmart and you'll get random messages, but then you'll look at it and you'll see that what the message is for. But guess what? That saves you time because you set it up a while back, but it's sent, and that way you don't forget to check in to see if they got their stuff yet, and all of that good stuff. And then to make it even quicker, guys, use text replacement and schedule it. That's what makes time, like, it makes it super quick on your phone. And then you can schedule emails too. I don't know how many of you use emails, but there's a function for that. And don't forget, one thing that many people are missing, and this saves the time too, is scheduling posts on your social media accounts. So, we talk about the algorithm and that you need to be active on social media for people to see your posts. But I know people will schedule their posts, maybe a VIP group and in a party, but how many are actually scheduling it on their timeline to post? So if you're not active, you're busy, you work 12-hour shifts, or whatever it is, schedule a post to post on your personal timeline each day. Because if you're not active on social media, when you go to post something about a booking or anything, no one's going to see it unless you kind of warmed up the algorithm, is what I call it. And it's really easy. You just want to make sure you're active. And to do that, you can just schedule some posts. And if you're busy during the week, sit down on Sunday and just schedule one each day. And you can do anything. You can just make it a quote. You can do a picture of your kids. You can come up with anything. But that's how a lot of people are like, how are you posting all day, all the time? A lot of it's scheduled, guys. And I just have it scheduled, especially my VIP group, until I get a template really made up for it. I've been doing scheduled posts. But that way you look like you are appearing on social media without really being there all the time. And then there is also one awesome thing that a lot of people have not had to, put in place, but it's auto replies to your Facebook business page. So I don't know how many of you guys know that you're kind of rated on Facebook business page of how fast you reply to messages and everything. And then that's kind of how it pushes it out. If you ever went to search bar and did Pampered Chef, think about how many business pages have Pampered Chef in them, right? And then which ones show up first. A lot of times, and I did this tonight actually to just see, the ones at the very top, when you look at the messages part, it says quick messages within 30 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. But the ones at the end say it takes an hour to get back to you. So what that shows me is that Facebook is ranking them based on the ones that are going to take, best care and message back is going to be at the top where people are viewing. So the thing with that though is people will message me and I'm seeing patients. So that doesn't really work right. Well, automated responses. You can set them up that when they say, hey, I'm interested in this, it will automatically reply to them. And if you're busy and you work your business in the evening, you can say something to the effect of, hey, I'm so glad you reached out to me. And, I'll get back to you soon, or I'm at work. I mean, because honestly, I send that to people if I'm really busy, because I want them to know, I'm not ignoring them. Hey, I'm at work right now, but I will check your message as soon as I can during my break and respond back to you. So that's okay to have a reply to that, as long as there is a reply. And we've always, how many of you have actually set that up? We have had that video on the how to for our PC Pirate Team videos for so long. And I'm just curious at how many people have done that, and so the other thing is, if you do set those up, then one, you look like you are working your business and you may be sleeping. And then two, you'll be getting better reviews on Facebook as well. So if you haven't done that, do so, but I'm going to share that link in that video so that you can kind of see more about it as well. And Facebook has a whole tutorial on it also. And you can put in their little triggers. So if someone says a word in their message, it triggers whatever you want them to say. So it's pretty cool. But that is definitely something I don't have set up, and I'm going to be setting it up, especially since I did that research and realized that the top ones are faster, and you know what I mean? And because the ones that were at the top had the same amount of followers, the only thing I could find on all of them was that they replied faster in Messenger. Another point that I want to drive home is that many tasks that you do in your business, you can have someone help you with. And if you have kids, hello, give them the kids tasks to package host packets, put stamps on them. I mean, my mom actually, she's a hairdresser in nursing homes, and she has owned her own business like my entire life. And me and my sister, there's memories of me and my sister sitting there packaging invoices and stamping, and we laugh about it now, but it's like the best time spending, because we thought we were big girls, like hanging out with mom. And now that Madeline does it with me, like it's just like a whole different thing. So even if you don't think your kid is even interested, like giving them even the option, because a lot of them are watching you guys, but they want to be involved, but they know that's mommy or daddy, that's their thing. But you will be surprised at like how much that they will own that part, and make them feel a part of the business. And you'll feel better. You won't be like less about, oh, well, mommy's working, that kind of thing. But when that way, like if they, you can give them task of, I don't know, packaging your host package, right? They will literally own it. Madeline is like really crazy about the task. And but what's funny though is like when you have success, they feel the success because they've been working, helping your business in some aspect. So it could be the packages, it could be, I don't know, it could just be alive, like you could do videos, but anywhere, whatever you may need help with. The tedious task that doesn't really take personality, is something that you could always get someone in your family to help you with, or you could have a high schooler or whatnot. And that's the other thing is people would said a while back, like, getting someone to help. But honestly, guys, I should have done it a lot earlier, because you're way more productive because I was in that mindset of I can do it. Why not I do it? Make sure I do it right and all of those things, right? Or I could save the money and do that myself. But in the grand scheme of things, like it's like saves you so much more stress and a long to-do list, like if you did have someone to help you in those tasks. So, and if you want more information on how to do that or what that looks like, let me know. But I did want to put that out there about like the kids, because I realized that with Madeline, but also with my own mom too. And then, you'll be surprised at how much, like I said, they'll own the task that you give them. And then guess what, guys? That's something off of your plate. So, hey, it's a win-win, right? Another way things are easier so you can get them done is using the Google, like the app for Google Documents. So I found that a lot of people are going to the browser and then going to Google Documents in the website. That takes time, right? So what I have is just the Google Doc app on my phone. And every time you open an app, it doesn't matter who's it from, it automatically saves there, which is pretty cool. But you just go to your phone, click the app, and it pops up. So less tasked, but that's how I pull up the VP system and copy and paste straight from there. And but that saves you time and it's free. Okay, so the Google app is free. So if you don't use it, try it, and I promise it will make it a lot easier for you. Now, there's a million ways to automate your business. And if you can tell us in the chat if you have any ideas. I know some consultants send like cards online, where they fill out the information and a company completes it and sends it. And then, like I said, many of you are like, well, I could do that. But like I said, it's something that, they chose to have automated. And it's the same thing with like Amazon, right? Sending gifts for you. That's an automation. So it's really like what I think back is looking at your business, like what is the part that's like holding you back and you're struggling with, and then see, is there some, if it's something you do week after week after week after week, is there a way to automate that? That's what I started to start thinking about. And it really helped a whole lot. And so and then, like, one thing too is, like I said, I've learned is doing an easy task takes more time. And that time is something that is going to, like, if you invest in the money for someone to help you, you actually make more because you can spend your time doing income producing tasks like sending, outreaches, or booking messages versus packaging some mailing, right? So think about it in that aspect. And then some people automate their personal life, right? So like a robot vacuum. I mean, you can schedule the vacuum to vacuum at a certain time of day. Don't even have to do it, just touch it. Or sprinkler systems. From some people's houses, they have them on schedule, or many of you probably have where you auto pay your bills, or grocery pickup or subscriptions. You just don't do nothing, right? It just comes out of your account and it shows up at your door. These are all automations. And when it comes to like your life, think about a lot of people either think just the business or they think the other way, but you have to think of it this way, like when you're looking at your calendar, your schedule, and how to work your business, think about what you're willing to give up. So what I mean is, like I said this to Donna when I was trying to figure it out, and she said, okay, well, because I said, well, if someone helps me in my business, what happens if they do it wrong? Then I'm going to have to redo it. She said, okay, well, then hire a cleaning lady. So she was like, because that saves you time, and then that way you can work your business. So like just thinking about it in that aspect will help you guys a lot. And like I said, so I know that all of those ideas are crazy amount, but I am going to put them in a document for you guys so you have them with the links to watch how to do certain things. And hopefully some of those were useful. Sorry, my sister always loves to call me during our training. But hopefully a lot of those are useful in your business. And I've personally devoted resources into learning about more processes to automate the business, and I hope I'm able to bring that back to you and teach that to all of you. So I'm really excited about that, and that way, because I think the more you can do it, the easier it is, and then the more likely you are to stick with it and bring people on board and be able to balance life, right? Because that's all of you guys want to do, is balance life. So the remainder of the night, I want to leave it open for questions, or if someone wants to share something that works really well for them or a success tip. Let's see if there's any questions in the chat. I have a lot, chat's blowing up here. All right, let's see. I need to know more about text replacements. Yes. Yes, Julie, it is definitely. So Julie has a good point. So I did, when I learned about text replacement, I thought about that. Like I could just copy and paste it, but honestly, text replacement's faster. I need to know about scheduling text messages. Yeah. So I had a feeling a lot of you guys would have a lot of questions. Like I said, I can't show you an Android and an iPhone and all that, but I am going to give you videos so whatever you have, you can use, and then you can stop it and play it. And then Vanessa, yeah, so I use Amy too, and I was going back and forth about talking about it, but it is an automated like app. However, you do have to input the information by hand. So when you're saving time, especially for like newer consultants, that's something that I think is a more advanced skill, right? But if you do want more information about it, we can talk about it.
I did start using it, like, I think maybe my second or third party, because I have some friends that sell Posh, and they're like your level, Tiffany. So I was asking them, since I was new to Pampered Chef, hey, give me some tips and tricks. And they're like, you need to get on Amy, and it's going to take you a little time, but just to input the people that have ordered and all their order information, but how wonderful of a follow-up tool it actually becomes. So I 100% like hands down recommend it. I think it's giving me repeat business.
Right. And so, yeah. And so like there's pros and cons. I think guys just think about it. Like some of the companies, they automatically like put in their catalog. And some companies have it where they automatically upload their contacts. Now I will go ahead and tell you that I've been on the fence about like really bringing that out because Pampered Chef's looking at it. So I'm really hoping that at one time we won't have to manually enter any more information. Like how great would that be, right? But yeah, so but if you use it, the only thing I will say is like it's a great follow-up tool if you use it like each day and like you stay, because what it does is you enter the order and the person's information, and it triggers 2 day, 2 week, 2 month, and it has templates, so it's a text replacement pretty much, and it will automatically input like the name and what they bought. I mean, really, and you send it, and you can send it through text, and you can say done, and you can look at like the orders, the backlog of orders that they've had. It tells you how many times they've ordered from you. You can even put in team members, and it'll tell me like, hey, check out this team member, see if they need any help or whatnot. And we do have a Pampered Chef like consultant Amy group with information But and if you're interested, let me know. You can get a free month. It's a free month, but and I'm not sure, Vanessa, if you do each month. I paid for a year, but it's only like what, $60, $70. It wasn't much for a
Yeah.
whole year.
Yeah, I paid for the year too.
Yeah. So like I said, but I guess depending on how disciplined you are, right? Because you can have the tool, but putting in the information is the thing, and then using it. So it's amazing, but that's the only thing I would say is looking at your calendar, what your struggle is, because I would hate for it to try it and then get frustrated, right? But I'm really hoping Pamper Chef's going to invest that right now. So before Vanessa came on board, I've been using it, and we had to put in our products too. Like, holy smokes, we had to do everything. So now Pamper Chef catalog, it comes into the app. But now we're just waiting for the contacts. And honestly, like the contacts do, like if you get a lot of shows, you do 13 a week. Yeah, that's a lot. So but just finding a system. A lot of consultants do a system where every night before they go to sleep, they'll pull up their email and the Sell with Amy like web page, and then they just copy and paste the information into the and if they've been a contact already, they're going to be in there. So that kind of helps too. If you have repeat customers, you could just search their name and it pops up. But if you guys want more information about that, let me know. And I can definitely go into more detail because Vanessa will tell you there's a lot of different like things you can do with it. I could go on and on, but yeah, that's one thing for sure. And I've loved mine, and it triggers a notification. It says you have this many to dos. Now, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, it tells me I have like 150 things to do, but but it's good. Texture placement, the copy and paste, you have to find where you're looking for. Yeah, Kristen, for sure. And I'm glad we had this talk, and I had a feeling that this would be beneficial to you guys. Just hearing some of the struggles that people are having with, time and balance and in life. And so hopefully, if you guys can put some of these things in place, you'll be able to kind of speed up, add some time to your day, pretty much. Anything else that works for people or want to share?
I would say one thing to make sure that you're going through after each party and updating your contacts with everybody to make sure that they're on the home office email automation thing, because those are helpful too for additional sales.
Yeah, and if you're new, home office, like when you buy the web or use the website or purchase it, they automatically will send something for you in honor of you. But you can also send out emails as well separately. But yeah, Vanessa's right. I get replies a lot like, "Can I get this?" And I'm like, "Whoa!" And sometimes you'll miss it though, because it'll be like one line and it'll be a reply, so you have to be paying attention. But yeah. So and the whole idea with those guys is that keeps you in front of them, right? So like 2 months later, if they're like, that's what ends up happening is they're thinking to themselves, I need a mixing shop. And then Vanessa's email comes up and they're not like, oh yeah, can you order me a mixing shop? And so that's the idea. So guys, this is also where bookings come in and repeat customers and referrals, because you keep in touch with them. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you have had issues with that 2-week and 2-month thing, one, you could try Amy, or you could schedule them, like whichever, as long as you have a system, but trying them and see, because like I said, that way and when you schedule them or you send them by Amy, when it prompts you, they feel special. They're like, holy, like when I say that, like I send them something, they're like, you remember me? Like they expect, so many people have said to me that I have bought from a consultant and never heard from them again. And that just tears my heart into pieces, makes me feel horrible, because I'm like, well, it's not going to happen on my watch, because we sell it, right? It's one thing to sell it, but then to follow up with them to make sure they take it out the box, they know how to use it, and and sometimes they use it and they want more, but they don't remember your name. So if you don't reach out, they don't know to contact you, and if you don't send them a thank you text, they don't have your cell phone. So all the systems in the virtual party system honestly have a reason. And those are kind of like a way to do it. And that's how you can get repeat customers, is with the relationship building. Tammy shared something, emails where their 10% is running out. is working for me a lot. I send them a message and tell them it's about to run out. Would you like to place an order or book another party to extend it? Yes, go. So Tammy has like booked some parties off of that. That's pretty awesome. And there's words that are in our booking document too, that she copied and pasted. And then if you guys look at the order emails, so many people will put book a party, you know, where it says marketing emails, like when their order says thank you. So many will put book a party and like never even commented. And I message them thinking they accidentally clicked the box. And they're like, yeah, I want a party. And I'm like, whoa. So if you're not like looking at that part where they could say about business booking or the emails, just like, you know, maybe go back and just check and make sure you don't miss anybody that wants to have a show. Anything else that's working or want to share, or maybe a struggle that we could help you with? And if we don't have the answer right now, I can go and do research and come back. Because that's what these nights are for, right? Let me see. Tracy says, my helpful tasks have been awesome this week and very useful. I've been following them to a T and got 3 bookings from one party. What? Doing Tiffany's task and doing good. Look at you. So if you're wondering, like, I'm going to go and track all these tasks, I've been putting them in a checklist. So that way, if they're successful, you guys have a checklist. Because I've really never written them out before. I just do them, you know. And when I started to do this, ask Julie, I was like, God, what do I do? Like, I don't know. She said, well, you can do a whole week and write it down. And I'm like, no, because I probably won't write it down. So that's why I have the task that I post. But then I'm like, oh yeah, I did this. Add that to it. But
so I forget the last training, if it was last week or the week before. I know I've been kind of busy, but we had somebody on and she does YouTube videos that she sends for her hosts to watch. So I took that tip, and yesterday I took all of 10 minutes and went through the pre-party days and the actual party days and recorded little, like just over a minute clip. That way I can, because no joke, our hosts, bless their hearts, they don't always read what we send them all the way or correctly. And sometimes what we wanted them to post in the party goes in their news feed or vice versa. So I send that little message first, have them all give me a thumbs up when they watch it, and then put in the wording just so we all know we're on the same page. It's going to save me so much time. It's going to make things easier for them to follow along too, I think.
Yeah. And I did mine. I posted it. So Vanessa, if you don't mind posting an example for the team. I know Julie posted one. I posted mine. And I did a few of them, but I just did my welcome host. But I did it this week, y'all. And so many said, they wrote me back and said, I love your accent. I just keep rewatching your video to listen to you talk. I was like, well, at least you watched it. But what it is, if you're newer, I see some new faces, is that it helps them connect, you know, versus just texting, and it makes it more personable as well. And you don't have to be perfect, just say it. And honestly, all like the welcome post or the welcome host one, you can watch, it's in the PC Pirates page. But the other days I literally just read what we send. That's it. Like literally, hey guys, who's excited for this week? Like literally read it. So no script, just whatever you would have sent them, I just said it. And if you're weird about the video, you could do voice clips. If you don't know how to do voice clips, let me know. But you could do voice clips as well, and that makes it more personable. So either way, it's get out of your comfort zone. Any other tips? These are awesome. This is why I was like, I definitely want to have time for this. Let's see. And I'll post mine too, Vanessa, in the chat, and y'all can check out as examples. And then Julie's was really awesome too. She did it right shortly after. All right. Okay, I figured someone who didn't know how to do voice clips. So I'll actually do a video, because I talked somebody through it and they were like, they still didn't see it till I sent a screenshot. But if you're doing the messages, you'll see a little microphone. You hold your finger down and you talk. You can do it, it's just a minute at a time. But when you're done talking, you lift your finger off and it sends it. And so it's pretty easy. Obviously, if you talk too long, you have to, you only do a minute and you have to stop and do it again. But it's really easy. And I love it personally because just like a video, they can't skim your words, right? Because they don't know what it says. So they have to listen to it. So, but I'll do a video, Sean, for you or for everybody, but that way people know how to do it. Anything else? I will leave with this one, like quote that came up, you know, on my handy dandy calendar that Donna gave me, but I loved it. It says, forget mistakes, forget failure, forget everything except what you're going to do now and do it. I saw that this afternoon. I said, well, darn, it just told me. So forget everything, just do it.
Yeah, don't be afraid of no.
Yeah. I love these comments though. Any questions here, honestly? And if you don't want to put it private, you can just private message it to me if you have a question. I'll just talk it out. And if you don't know how to schedule posts, please let me know. Honestly, because these are things that will make your life so much easier. I mean, how do you think I can say I'm going to post this at 7 o'clock Eastern time every day? No, I'm like brushing my teeth. I just schedule it. So got 3 minutes. Anybody else? Julie, do you have anything to share? You're a rock star. No, I was trying to see if I had any other things that work. Vanessa, do you have any before we go?
Maybe not so much for the actual work that we do, but the mindset. And this was something that I've brought up before. It was mentioned on the bus drivers team. It was a book recommendation. It's called Get Over Your Damn Self or something like that. And it's specifically for people in direct marketing, just like we are, and how to believe in yourself. You wake up every morning and you tell yourself you are the best Pampered Chef consultant out there, and you embody that throughout the day and your actions, and then prioritizing time, just like we went over today. But you know, I'm not a religious person, but for those who are, it's what is it? Faith. Gosh, I can't think of it right now. I was thinking of it earlier, but you put it out there to the universe that this is what I want, this is my vision, and you make that happen. It just your intentions and everything. But I just manifesting, you know, that kind of thing. You know, you pray for it, you put your stuff into action, you get it done, and it's just, you know, it's awesome.
Yeah, so when we became an executive team, I bought that book actually for all the directors, and I have it. So it's from, I don't even have to say her last name, I'll mess it up, but she is a Rodan and Fields national executive director. Her name's Romy, and she's pretty awesome, and I've read it like 3 times. And so, and that makes me laugh out loud every time, even though like I know parts are coming. So that means that, and I'm not a big reader, guys, so if I read it, it's a good one. And I posted it, and I think if we had like at least 5 people that wanted it in her book, it has that we can get a special rate. So let me know, and we can get everybody one. And you can get it on Audible too, on Amazon. You can listen to it in your car. And I'm gonna actually, now that you said that, like I'm gonna, what is it? Oh crap! Of course I would forget the name of it. It's the one. It's something morning. Let me find it again. Hold on. But Claudia, you know, she's not a morning person, and I'll have to find it and I'll post it. But she's not a morning person. But since she read the book that I'm gonna read next, she gets up at like 4 o'clock every single morning. And I was like, well, darn, if you didn't wake up till 9 and that makes you wake up every morning at 4, I need to know what these words say. And she swears by it. I'll post a picture of both of the books. And that way, if you guys want to look at them. Definitely do it. So those are awesome. But mindset will make or break you in this business. You know, guys, that's my motto, because it's true. If you don't believe in yourself, like the belief triangle, you don't believe it, you'll never put it into action. And if you don't do any action, you get no results. So you'll fail. So truly believe, you know, and you have to believe yourself to do the action to then get results. And then you're like, oh crap, I can do this, right? But you have to keep that cycle going. To really keep that belief. Yeah, that is. Susan said Monday morning, or no, Monday Morning Leadership's a great book too. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what the name of that book is though. It's gonna bother me. But anyway, but I'll post it. These are awesome. I appreciate all of your time, but it is 9:01. I'll post this recording in the PC Pirates group shortly after, as soon as it uploads to YouTube.